At the Hard Rock. I'm joined for this fun announcement here with FBI Deputy Director Andrew Bailey, FDLE Special Agent in charge from the Tampa region, John Vecchio. We have a Chief Assistant Statewide Prosecutor from my office who talked a little bit more specifically about the specific matter, Paul Dontonville. I'm very grateful to him for his work. Before we get started, just a quick thanks to Deputy Director for being here. I think we first communicated years ago when he was counsel to the governor in Missouri. I was general counsel to Ron DeSantis here, and he became AG ahead of me by a couple of years and really was the gold standard for being decisive, acting, going after bad guys, going after Fauci, doing what's right and just. And I was excited when I got this job to get to work with him a little bit, but he was recruited very quickly up to D.C. to the Trump administration to serve as Deputy Director of the FBI, and it's great to continue working together in this capacity. So today we're here to talk about some Autopen accountability. Several months ago, my team came to me, and they were nervous. There were quite a few people being released, pretty bad dudes, guys that were serving 7, 8 year plus sentences, big drug crimes, people that had been charged with attempted murder. Nevertheless, President Biden commuted their sentence, used his pardon power to let them out early. I say president, but it really was an Autopen that did it. So there's some legal, uncertainty surrounding some of these actions to begin with. But many of these individuals are here in Florida. We've already taken one of them down. I'm here to talk about another one today. I'm going to be issuing a directive to all of our local state attorneys and state law enforcement to continue to work through this list and to pursue state charges with regard to all of these individuals that are very dangerous. I don't know why they were released. They should not have been released, and we're going to arrest them, lock them back up, and ensure that we are protecting our families here in the state of Florida. So today, Autopen accountability is focused on an individual, James Dobbs Jr. This is an individual who was charged and convicted of serious drug offenses. When law enforcement went to serve warrants on him the first time, he was trying to flush things down the toilet. He had a gun next to his bed. He was unlawfully in possession of firearms. This is a dangerous guy. So we are bringing state charges. He was served with a 7-year sentence, and President Autopen released him after just 20 months. This is unacceptable. We're not going to let it happen. We're going to get him back behind bars where he will stay for quite a while. I want to thank the FBI for working with us. They've been great partners, providing us evidence, witness information, testimony of agents that have worked on a lot of these cases as we go out and pursue law and order. This effort is not partisan. It's not Republican. I know we have a lot of people here for the convention. Going after bad guys and keeping our families safe is not a partisan ideal. It should not be. Yet, unfortunately, we too often see blue states with escalating criminal activity and states like Florida reaching record crime lows. We have the lowest crime rate here in Florida than we've ever had, and it's not without question. We know why. We know exactly why. Our office in the last year has had 50% more statewide prosecutions. Our sentencing rate is up 30% on convictions. Human trafficking cases, over 40% more convictions. A record number of over 1,700 child predators arrested. We love and support. We love and support our law enforcement. We give them the tools to be successful. They know we have their backs. We let them do their job. They do it well. And when they arrest bad guys, they know we are going to prosecute. We are not going to be lenient. We are not going to let people out early. We're going to make sure that they are locked away for as long as possible. So it is no surprise that we have the record of crime lower than we've ever had before. So one more applause for that, please. So before I turn it over, Mr. Dobbs is going to be looking at up to 320 years in the Florida Department of Corrections based on the totality of the state charges. We will continue working with our federal partners to go after everybody else on the list. I want to thank the prosecutors that have worked personally on this, Paul Dontonville, who you will hear from, and statewide prosecutor Jessica Bake. Thank you both for your great work on this. It's saving lives. It really is. They don't get paid all the money in the world. They're not working 9-to-5 jobs. They're working hard, but they do it because they love it. They do it because it's meaningful, fulfilling, and at the end of the day, they are indeed saving lives. So with that, I will turn it over to Deputy Director Bailey. Thank you again for being here, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. I want to thank General Uthmeier for his leadership, for his dedication to public service, and for standing with law enforcement. I want my presence here today to underscore the deep partnership between the FBI and the Florida Attorney General's office. General Uthmeier is a leader who has the courage to pursue justice and hold violent offenders accountable despite the previous administration's decision to put those same violent criminals back into your communities. This is not my first trip to Florida, and I hope it won't be my last, because this state stands with law enforcement. This state stands with the brave men and women who put the badge on every day and risk their lives to keep these communities safe. That commitment to public safety is embodied in the action General Uthmeier is taking on this case. In 2023, the FBI led the investigation into this violent offender, and working alongside our state and local partners, we brought federal charges to ensure that he would be held accountable for his crimes. But after those charges were brought and after justice was secured, the previous administration violated the sanctity of the rule of law by allowing unelected staffers to exert unconstitutional authority to betray the very people they were charged with protecting. This broken promise set loose a violent offender on your streets. And the shocking reality is, while the former president slept, unelected staffers abused the Autopen in similar circumstances to let loose convicted criminals in communities across the nation. Today, the FBI is standing shoulder to shoulder with the state of Florida to keep the promise that others have chosen to break. This offender has an appalling, violent criminal history, including 16 felony charges and 7 felony convictions. His criminal history includes possession of cocaine with the intent to sell, multiple charges for possession with intent to manufacture and deliver controlled substances, possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of methamphetamine, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery of a law enforcement officer resulting in bodily harm or disability. The FBI did its job. Our state partners did theirs. And today, working together once again, we are ensuring that this violent offender is held accountable and that the people of Florida receive the justice and the safety that they deserve. As a former prosecutor, former Attorney General of the state of Missouri, and now as Deputy Director of the FBI, I've spent my career working alongside leaders like General Uthmeier. He and I served together in the pursuit of justice. And through this case, that partnership continues. This FBI, under the leadership of Director Patel, will seek every avenue, whether it be federal, state, or local, to hold violent offenders accountable and protect innocent victims. Fighting violent crime is the cornerstone of the FBI, as underscored by Director Patel's prioritization of this effort. The FBI's presence in Florida is strong. Our 3 field offices are fully integrated with state and local law enforcement to secure safer streets and restore the justice that criminals steal from their victims and their families. While an electronic signature applied under questionable circumstances may have freed a violent offender with no regard for the safety of Florida's communities, Attorney General Uthmeier took action. This case sends a clear message. Violent offenders will never escape justice. It is my sincere hope that other states will follow the example set here today and have the courage to bring state charges against those who seek to avoid justice by exploiting unelected bureaucrats' abuse of constitutional authority that the people never gave to them. Let there be no mistake. Through these partnerships, we prioritize protecting victims and the safety of communities, not criminals. Because this is also about every victim who was forced to relive their trauma because of the previous administration's gross negligence. It's about every family who was denied justice and is serving a life sentence of pain. And it's about ensuring that the rule of law, not reckless and unconstitutional actions, guide our decisions. This FBI will not rest until every victim sees the full weight of the American justice system bearing down on those who thought that they were above the rule of law. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Director. We love the partnership with these guys. We also have great statewide law enforcement here in Florida, best in the country. I'll let our special agent in charge, John Vecchio, say a few words.
Good afternoon. I'm Assistant Commissioner John Vecchio of the Florida Department of Law
When
Enforcement.
you got promoted, I'm forgetting already.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
He is an assistant commissioner now. My apologies. This is why I'm supposed to probably be reading my notes, but I just go off the fly. So,
Thank you, sir.
Very, very well deserved. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney General Uthmeier, the statewide prosecutors, and our partners at the FBI. Florida is a law and order state, and we work together with our partners to hold individuals like Dobbs accountable. FDLE stands ready to protect our citizens and visitors to this great state. To accomplish this, it requires teamwork and resources. We routinely collaborate with our state, local, and federal partners. These partnerships are the foundation of complex investigations like this that our agents, analysts, and partners conduct daily. FDLE's mission is to promote public safety and strengthen domestic security. We take this mission seriously. The safety and security of our citizens and visitors is our top priority. If you commit a crime in Florida, we will use every available resource to investigate those crimes and bring you to justice. Thank you so much.
Now, John's been with me on the road show as we've been highlighting a lot of great law and order work, a lot of big convictions, taking down predators. So I get into habit of just saying the same thing, but we're very, very proud to have John on the team. To round us out, I'll call up Chief Assistant Statewide Prosecutor Paul Dontonville.
Thank you, General. Good afternoon, everyone. At the direction of the Attorney General, statewide prosecution examined several cases where dangerous felons were put back on the streets after their federal sentences were commuted by President Biden. We have acted carefully but quickly to examine and evaluate these cases for state prosecution. What we have found are several cases where the criminal history and the facts of the specific cases did not warrant a reduced sentence. To date, we have arrested 2 individuals on state charges related and released by President Biden. Oscar Fowler was arrested in February of this year on drug and gun charges in Pinellas County, where he faces up to 45 years in prison. He was previously released after serving less than 2 years on a 12-year sentence. Oscar Fowler is a career criminal with a violent history. His case in Pinellas County is currently pending for trial, and we intend to fully prosecute Mr. Fowler. The other case that brings us here today is James Dobbs, Jr. As the General mentioned, in partnership with local, state, and federal partners, such as ATF, DEA, and the FBI, we have exercised our discretion as a state sovereign to bring the prosecution of James Dobbs, arresting him for 8 counts of phenethylamines, which is akin to MDMA, 2 counts of trafficking of cocaine, possession of cocaine, and felon in possession of a firearm. He now faces, as the General mentioned, more than 320 years in Florida prison, and also a host of minimum mandatories, such as 3 years and 7 years. Mr. Dobbs was previously sentenced to 7 years in federal prison, but unfortunately served less than 2 years. He was released in October and was arrested on state charges yesterday in Brevard County. This case involves numerous drug deals between the defendant Dobbs and a confidential source. Based upon these deals, law enforcement executed a search warrant at his home in Cocoa, Florida, where they found more drugs and a firearm, which Dobbs was not permitted to possess due to his prior felon drug history. We'd like to thank the FBI Special Agent Matt Pagliarini, DEA Special Agent Brian Lammers, FDLE Special Agent Michael Tracy, FDLE Special Agent Supervisor Ryan Bliss, and of course, General Uthmeier, our statewide prosecutor Brad McVeigh, and my colleague Jessica Bake for her tedious work here. Mr. Dobbs currently is in custody in Brevard County Jail. He will appear this afternoon for his initial court appearance. The Office of Statewide Prosecution, at the direction of the Attorney General, will continue our careful and vigorous review of cases involving commuted sentences by President Biden, and we will fully exercise our discretion to bring charges on behalf of the state of Florida to hold these career criminals accountable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. I'll conclude by saying I don't know why former President Biden let a lot of these dangerous people go free. Something tells me he probably doesn't know either. But I'll tell you this, I would much prefer to not have an Autopen leading our great United States of America. I would much prefer the strong iron fist of President Trump fighting for law and order, fighting for our law enforcement, fighting for our families. We want this to be a country where you can walk around on the sidewalks. You can go to a local mall, and you don't have to live in fear. And here in the free state of Florida, under the governance of Ron DeSantis, we live that dream every single day. I think we do take a lot for granted. We see people moving from cities like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, and they do live in fear. Just a casual walk down the sidewalk, taking your keys out to go get in your car could lead to a mugging, a violent attack, something you don't want to expose your kids to. So we're blessed here in Florida. We got a great thing going on. Our crime data points from 2025 are coming in, and they look fantastic. Murder rates are down double digits across the state. Crime as a whole looks like it's going to be down around 20%. I mean, we're getting to lows where I don't even know how we go even lower, but we will always keep pushing to do better. And again, it's not a surprise. It's not rocket science. It is common sense. We back law enforcement, we prosecute cases, and we all work together. We love working with our federal partners, state and local. We all have the same mission, and that is to ensure a safe society. My final point, you guys behind the cameras, you look like you're pretty decent guys, so I won't blame you, but it is a shame how the media has not done enough to highlight the good work that the FBI and our federal law enforcement are doing. They are not getting enough credit. I mean, just think about this. Violent crime and murder rates are lower in America than they have been in over 100 years. They have tens of thousands of child predators getting locked down. They're rescuing thousands and thousands of kids that have been victims of horrific abuse. When I got this job, everybody told me fentanyl is the greatest danger we're looking at today. It's everywhere. It seeps into all communities, even those that are not exposed to drug activity. It's getting laced in marijuana and other lesser drugs. It's killing our kids. A lot of it's coming from overseas, our enemies like China. And it's a new warfare. They're pushing it in to take over our next generation. And they shut down the border. They brought back American sovereignty. And fentanyl rates now, cases in Florida, are down 70, 80% in a year and a half. just a year and a half, and I don't have visibility all over the country, but these trends are everywhere. Law and order works. It works for everybody, and we're certainly going to keep preaching it here in Florida. So tell everybody back at the network's broadcast, give these guys the attention they deserve. This is historic data. This story needs to be told. What they're doing works. All right, thank you. I have time for a couple questions. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any possibility that you would entertain going after Anthony Fauci because of what he knew in advance of pushing out the COVID vaccines and his participation in gain-of-function research?
The answer is yes. I think there was a lot of deception. I think Anthony Fauci had a lot to profit, a lot to gain. He went out there, he deceived the American people. I think a lot of people were misled, and there were harms, dangers, and lives lost as a result of what he did. I will go after everybody, Fauci included, that has gone out and broken the law. What I will say is, as prosecutors, we have to bring a case. We have to follow rules of evidence. We have to bring a case and be successful. I don't want to be somebody that says, I'm going to go do A, B, C, D, and I cannot deliver. So I promise you, I lay awake at night in bed thinking, how can I prosecute Anthony Fauci for the crimes he committed on the American people? And when I have a case ready, we will bring it. Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of these kind of concurrent cases, that are going on between the federal government and then the state government, can you talk about some of the status for the Ryan Ruth case, for example, how you picked up on that, the one regarding Castro, and also Maduro? Is there any update on all these? I know that's a lot right there.
Sure. Yeah, what I'll say is we have a great working relationship with the feds. We are building out these cases. We never want to get out ahead of them. We don't want to do anything to mess up what they're doing with some of their witnesses. So typically, the case of Ryan Ruth, we let them take the lead. They bring their case. Then we go and put ours together at the state level. And that is ongoing. That cooperation has been fantastic. Let me tell you, we wanted to bring state charges when President Biden was still in office. And we're working with the Department of Justice. We're asking for information. We're asking for evidence. We want to, somebody that's trying to assassinate a president, if the federal government is not going to do their job, you better believe we're going to do it down here in Florida. And we were stonewalled. An assassination attempt on a president, that is not a partisan thing. That should enrage everybody in this country. And we could not get the Biden Justice Department to work on us. You know how many days it took for that to change when things turned over? 1 day. 1 day, and we're working seamlessly together. So that continues. Nicolas Maduro, the question, are we working on state charges there? You better believe we are. The federal government is going to bring their charges. But again, as we pointed out today, a president can go and pardon somebody federally. And I do not want to see a day where Nicolas Maduro is pardoned, for his federal crimes, and there's parades in the street because some whack job liberal idiot thought it would be cool to let him go. So we're going to step in there. We will have state charges. Again, we do things right. I don't want to have a situation where we don't properly document our file and build the evidence correctly. We do ultimately have to meet our burden in front of a jury of our peers. So anybody else? I'll give you one more. But anybody else before we? Yes, sir.
Great job. I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing. What's next? I know you must have a list. What can you share with us?
I'll tell you, we got something going on every day. I'm all about the kids. We brought a first in the country lawsuit against OpenAI ChatGPT. We've seen strong correlation between the abuses on our kids using ChatGPT to commit crimes, get advice. The FSU shooting, that shooter asked ChatGPT how to use the gun, what bullets, where to turn off the safety, where to go on campus, what time to run into the largest number of people he could, how many people he needed to kill in a school shooting to get media attention. I mean, this stuff, it should scare you to death. We've got to get out ahead of it. I think big tech got pretty much a hall pass on the last 15 years. Our kids are addicted to their devices. They're designed to be addictive. The unlimited scrolling, the push notifications, the blatant child pornography that's going on using a lot of these platforms, that will always be front and center, peace of mind. We just announced subpoenas to CVS based on some major antitrust concerns, the PBMs, the middlemen, pharmacy benefit managers that set pricing. Healthcare costs just always seem to go up. The three PBMs, they control over 80% of the market. This is scary. We believe that they provide favorable treatment to a lot of their local pharmacy retailers as opposed to the other small businesses that really want to be there fighting for families. So we're working on something every single day. We're going to sue a lot of people, but I promise it will always be the right fights every day. All right, last one. I promised you one more.
Going on with AI, do you expect any further action against any other AI firms? And since you have the administration here, what kind of feedback are you getting from the White House about their actions on AI, if any?
Yeah, look, I'll keep the questions here, at the state level. We're looking at anybody that is exposing our kids to harm, and ChatGPT has come up time and time again. We've seen use of the application to ask questions about how to commit self-harm, how to commit suicide, how to go out and harm others. I know at the federal level, there's a desire to not have 50 different state laws that companies have to go and try to follow. And I understand that. That gets to be pretty unworkable, and you never know what crazy thing California is going to do tomorrow. But in the absence of laws and regulations, and I believe when it comes to protecting our kids and the most vulnerable, we sure as heck need them. We will step up and we will lead in Florida. I believe the federal administration cares about protecting kids too. So there's going to be a lot of discussions. We're going to be working hard. We will be proposing legislation next year here in Florida to make sure that these big tech companies that are the best in the world at designing, programming, and analyzing data, that they are looking out for our kids. They can do it. I know they can. And if they don't, we're certainly going to make them pay for it. So thank you all for being here. God bless you.